Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I'm going to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest, page 245 to 247. Slytherins, on the other hand, clapped as they walked past them, whistling and cheering. Thanks, Potter. We owe you one. We owe you a big one. Only Ron stood by him. They'll all forget this in a few weeks. Fred and George have lost loads of points in all the time they have been here, and people still like them. They have never lost 150 points in one go, though. Have they? Said Harry miserably. Well, no, Ron admitted. It was a bit late to repair the damage, but Harry swore to himself not to meddle in things that weren't his business from now on. He had had it with sneaking around and spying. He felt so ashamed of himself that he went to Wood and offered to resign from the Quidditch team. Resign? Wood thundered. What good'll that do? How are we going to get any points back if we can't win at Quidditch? But even Quidditch had lost its fun. The rest of the team wouldn't speak to Harry during practice, and if they had to speak about him, they called him the Seeker. Hermione and Neville were suffering too. They didn't have as bad a time as Harry, because they weren't as well known, but nobody would speak to them either. Hermione had stopped drawing attention to herself in class, keeping her head down, working in silence. Harry was almost glad that the exams weren't far away. All the studying he had to do kept his mind off his misery. Ron and Hermione kept to themselves, working late into the night, trying to remember the ingredients in complicated potion, learn charms and spells by heart, memorize the dates of magical discoveries and goblin rebellions. Then about a week before the exams were due to start, Harry's new resolution not to interfere in anything that didn't concern him was put to an unexpected test. Walking back from the library on his own one afternoon, he heard somebody whimpering from a classroom up ahead. As he drew closer, he heard the Quirrell's voice. No, not again, please. It sounded as though someone was threatening him. Harry moved closer. All right, he heard Quirrell shout. Next second, Quirrell came hurrying out of the classroom, straightening his turban. He was pale and looked as though he was about to cry. He strode out of sight. Harry didn't think the Quirrell had even noticed him. He waited until Quirrell's footsteps had disappeared, then peered into the classroom. It was empty, but a door stood ajar at the other end. Harry was halfway toward it before he remembered what he had promised himself about not meddling. All the same, he would have gambled 12 Sorcerer's Stones. The Snape had just left the room. From what Harry had just heard, Snape would be walking with a new spring in his step. Quirrell seemed to have given in at last. Harry went back to the library, where Sir Hermione was testing Ron on astronomy. Harry told him what he had heard. Snape's done it then, said Ron. If Quirrell's told him how to break his anti-dark force spell, they're still fluffy though, said Hermione. Maybe Snape's found out how to get past him without asking Hagrid, said Ron, looking up at the thousands of books surrounding them. I bet there's a book somewhere in here telling you how to get past the giant three-headed dog. So what do we do, Harry? The light adventure was the kindling again in Ron's eyes. But Hermione answered before Harry could. Go to Dumbledore. That's what we should have done ages ago. If we try anything ourselves, we will be thrown out for sure. But we got no proof, said Harry. Quirrell is too scared to back us up. Snape is only got to say he doesn't know how the troll got in at Halloween and that he was nowhere near the third floor. Who do you think they will believe, him or us? It's not exactly a secret we hate him. Dumbledore will think we made it up to get him sacked. Filch wouldn't help us if his life depended on it. He's too friendly with Snape, and the more students get thrown out, and the better he will think. And don't forget, we're not supposed to know about the stone or Fluffy. That'll take a lot of explaining. Hermione looked convinced, but Ron didn't. If we just do a bit of a poking around. No, said Harry flatly. We've done enough poking around. He pulled a map of Jupiter toward him and started to learn the names of each moon. The following morning, notes were delivered to Harry, Hermione, and Neville. At the breakfast table, they were all the same. Your detention will take place at 11 o'clock tonight. Met Mr. Filch in the entrance hall, Professor McGonagall. The end.